Alright, so did service work Saturday, so I didn't get to come out here to the garage. So this Sunday I'm going to spend a little bit of time out here. Unfortunately, it's a cold day in Kansas, so it's sunny, but we had a cold front come through and winds out of the north today, so it's a little bit chilly outside. So I'm warming the garage up a little bit, got it up to 61, and I'm going to work on this mess. I do have that piece to go over here. Let's get a little better look at it there. Pretty gnarly. Look. It almost looked like you could see all the way through there. But anyways. Alright, that's where I'll be. I'll show you what comes of it. Can't tell if that's 2 layers or if there's just a brace in there or something. I don't know. Figure it out when I start cutting. Look at that. I did hammer this down flat. Alright, I'll get back with you. Alright, so after a few hammer hits with the screwdriver on the screw, I was able to get them to break loose. So, got my first kind of slice in there, and basically I'm just peeling it back like an onion here. Kind of seeing how far down that funkiness is. You can kind of see that lip kind of moves up right there. So I think I'm going to keep cutting up that way because I think there's more going on under lower down here. We'll see how bad that lower piece is. I'll get back with you. Alright, so peeling it up a little further there. Still kind of crusty up in there, but I can't get up much further than that because of the door. So let's spin this thing around a little bit and see if I can get this door open here. Yay. So that's going to gain me all the room I need to get up here further. Because I want to make sure I get all the funkiness out. I'll get back with you. Alright. So after further inspection of the situation, I pulled that lip off, and you can see it's still kind of pitted all the way up in this area. So I figured the better choice would be to drill out the spot welds down through here and then cut it along the gutter seam, because the way that this is made is this piece actually wraps around and this becomes your trunk gutter, but it's still welded down through here. So I just figured that would be the best way to go about repairing this, so that I could just take out the whole thing. And you can see it's still kind of crusty on the back side there too, so yeah, it will probably be the way to go about doing it, right? So got that piece off, and then went ahead and drilled and cut the new piece off. I'll clean the back side of this up, spray some capsulator on the back, but I don't know about you, but I just thought this would be the better way to go about repairing that. And it's got a little notch right there, so I can line it back up to where it belongs. Alright, I'll be back. Anyways, I had someone knocking on the door. There's a spot right there to line up the two pieces. So I will, now that it's the old one's off of there, cut a little long here, which is great because now I can cut it back a little bit to even it up there. And then it's a little long up here top too. Well, a lot of long. I didn't want to go too far up in there if I don't have to. So let's see. All right, there. Where it belongs. I'll just have to do some massaging up in here to get it to fit better. I think one way I could do that is to lay the old piece over it, like so. Line up them two spots. Piece of metal in there getting in my way. Yeah, so yeah, them are lined up pretty good there. And yeah, lined up there, so kind of just line these two pieces up. What I'll do, then I'll vice grip it all together and then cut it off there. You guys like my little sound effects? probably cut a little long over here just to make sure, and then sneak up on it. Alright, I'll get back with you. Alright, so this is where I'm at. Got a nice fit inside of there. I'll have to hammer this down a little bit here, straighten it all out again, which ain't no big deal. Still got a little leftover of the old one right there that I gotta grind off. But other than that, pretty nice fit there. So, rusty, crusty funkiness. Bye. Let me get it cleaned up and welded on. I'll get back with you. Alright. I got it all cleaned up here. Don't know if you remember it or not, but this is two layers. See? And that's what probably rusted this out so bad, was water getting up in between that second layer there. But anyways, so that's the first layer there. I'll tack that in all the way down, and I won't have to clean the weld up like super nice. Just probably just knock the tops off of it, and then I'll shoot this here with etch primer, and then this is the outer piece, and it can be located once I get it on there. But it can be located with these screw holes, if you remember right. So to have a screw there, a screw there, and then this little piece here, this little tab was left, and that will be screwed on up in here like that, and then it should be able to be welded across here and cleaned up. So alright, that's where I'm at with this one. Get this channel cleaned up here, and then work on this section back here. I think what I'm gonna do, because I got pinhole, pinholes, I'm thinking about, I'm gonna try to chase it first real quick, and if it welds up real quick, then all fine and dandy. If not, then I will probably cut the whole section out and then just put a whole new piece in here. We'll see what happens. If I can chase these with no problem, then I will just do a small patch in this area. I hate to cut all this out over one little hole, so I'm going to chase that first, and if it chases out real good, which basically I'll start welding on the far side of it here and then weld that way, and that should catch up to it. Same thing there, but this over in here is kind of too far gone in my opinion, so definitely want to cut from here to here and then cut this piece out, and then I have to mimic the little holes for the trim to screw back to. Same thing back here. Try to chase that closed. And I got to weld all this back together. I'll clean all this up with the wire brush. Then I got another crack right there. I'm probably going to take my grinder, cut-off wheel, and just cut a seam in it, and then weld the seams back shut. Alright, I'll get back with you on it. Alright, one piece down, and one piece to go in there. Got that all welded in. Still have to do the plug welds on the edge here, but I got it all lined up nice. Get ready to locate this one. But I want to shoot some primer on there first, some etch through primer. I don't know, I either do etch through or I'll do just regular silver paint that's got the primer and paint all in one. I don't know. That's probably what I'll do. So anyways, and then I could locate this with the little screw holes there, and then tack it back on. Alright, be back. Alright, and now I got it located with the screws. Blurry. So let me get this tacked on there so I can move on. About got it knocked out here. Then I gotta finger this out back here. Okay, I'll be back. Alright, so I got all the plug welds done down through that. I had to do a second run down through here just to make it all match up and look good after I grind it. You will never see that, but I'm gonna make it look back factory. I chased a couple holes over here, got them closed up. Same thing over here. Then there was a rust line right here, so I cut it open with the grinder, or with the cut-off wheel, and then welded it all back shut. So at this point I am getting ready to spray this up in that hole all the way across and get that encapsulated. Alright, I'll be back. Alright. If you can't tell by my voice, I'm wore out. So 6 hours is what it took. But all the crusties are gone. It's ready for a little bit of a epoxy primer to be put on it. Rinse and repeat the other side, but the other side's not as bad. This one, this whole section, I think you guys go back and watch the video. Anyways, watch it from the beginning, you already know. So yeah, that complete piece, a patch in here, and chased a few little pinholes. So the other side isn't as bad. Let's see if I can get this door open. Alright. So this side is that little area right there, which ain't too bad. The rest of it is pretty nice. I need to weld it back together back here. I say maybe a couple hours on this side and I'll be good to go on that. Then we'll move on to something else. Getting there slowly but surely. Get all this metal work done. And I can start doing some body work on the bottom of the car. All right. I'm out of here. Night night. All right. Well, it's Monday. Nice out. Not too bad. I mean, it's not in the 70s or anything, but it's still t-shirt weather out here. And we got her upside down here. So this would be passenger side. I'm gonna work on that little rotted out section right there. Clean this up. Re-weld it back here. And that'll probably be it for the day. And that's coming down to the nitty gritty on the old Rustito. I think that's about, well, one of the, I guess that has to be like the last major rust out issue, besides whatever I have to do on doors or fenders or anything like that. But body wise, I think I'm about done. A few little spots, small spots to take care of. But I know, boring, right? I'm just doing this for my own documentation of it. Pan fits pretty damn good. Alright, get some tools over here so I can get the cutting that section out. I'll get back with you. Alright, so got the crusty cut out and went ahead and took the little belt sander in here and kind of cleaned up this gutter. I got that to repair, and then ended up with one little pinhole here. But anyways, here's what I got. So I will be cutting this out and getting it in there. I'll get back with you. Alright, so I got this piece cut out, and I just put a little tack on each corner here, and I'm hoping that I can just push this edge down now like that and get it to match up to the other section. Yeah, and just like that, I'll go ahead and start getting this piece welded in, and then My other piece is laying here somewhere. Right here. So then this piece I have to cut it down a little bit up here on the top. There. And I'll weld that little section in, and then we'll be done over here. Alright, I'll get back with you. Alrighty. So that's that. Get that piece patched in. That's all reconnected. So that is done. Besides shooting some primer on it. Yay, that's great. So now I think what I will do is start getting the bottom of the quarter panel buckled back up, and then cleaning up any welds or anything I got underneath. So yeah. Shut that bottle off. Let's see if my, oh sorry, I forgot I had you guys on there. Make sure my door is going to close. And it is. Alright. Holy moly. Alright. So now I can finish all this up on the bottom here. Dressing up my little weld. Getting the quarters locked in place down here. Shoot a little bit more weld into that. Clean this up. Do the bottoms of the quarters and trunk drop-offs. Get them locked in place. Clean these welds up. And then I should be ready to do a little bit of body work down here and shoot some paint. I need to get someone, maybe my son, to come down and help me out. What I need is someone to hold the dolly on the inside of the trunk so that I can knock out some of these dents like that, the bigger ones like that, like 3 little ones right here, a couple right here, so forth and so on. A few over here on this side. Try to knock as many of them dents out as I can. I know it won't be perfect, but it's got to be nicer than it is now. Alright, that's just from people throwing stuff in the trunk over the years. And then, if I'm not mistaken, I think them two holes probably should be closed off. And that is for the sending unit. But those two there, I think someone did that too. I don't know what they did it for. But yeah, I think them two holes should be closed off. But, alright. Enough fun for one day. Gotta go get the kids from school, so grandkids that is. Done raised my four. But alright, be back. Alright, so we did service this morning, come back home. I'm going to start getting all these locked in place. The bottoms of the quarters, the trunk drop-offs, get all that locked in place. I'll get back with you. Alright, so a couple hours out here messing around, doing a little welding. Got the bottom of the quarters buttoned in. Got the trunk drop off welded in. Cleaned up some of the welds. I got a little bit more left in here. A little bit left in there that I'll have to get with the cut off wheel. But I'll clean all that up. Again, lower the quarters buttoned up. I went ahead and there was a couple spots on the back of the rocker panel. Might help if I got the video pointed. But there's a few spots on the back of the rocker panel that I didn't penetrate completely through, so I went ahead and hit them, put some more weld on the back. That way I know they're completely penetrated through the metal. I still have this spot left, but I'll get that from inside the car. But that's where I'm at with it on this side, which I'm really happy to get the bottom of the quarters locked in finally. I don't know about you guys, but that is how the factory done that stiffening plate, and they just stuck it up against there and put a couple plug welds in it. So I'm going to cut that off and weld it to the top of the frame, or bottom of the frame, like this. My opinion is going to be stronger, and it just looks a little bit better in my opinion. So that's what I'll be doing. Rinse and repeat over on that side, but I'm kind of done for the day. So a little bit of welding, sneaking up on all this metal work stuff, so won't be long and I'll be saying, hey, done with the metal work. And then you guys can, I don't know, watch the boring sanding part. No, I'm not gonna make you do that. But I still got to fix those two holes. I don't know what it was for. Possibly air shocks. Maybe that's where they ran the hose through. I wouldn't have. I would have ran it up underneath the tank. and then put it out here by the gas cap. But it wasn't me. I didn't do it. Alright, I'm gonna get this thing flipped over. Alright. So, got it flipped over. Rinse and repeat. I will be repairing this hole in this torque box while I got it apart. Make it look pretty like that. Yeah, this side ain't gonna be too bad. It's gonna be pretty quick. So, plug weld all the holes on the back here. Clean up a few welds through there. Plug weld on the back of that. And plug weld the bottom of the quarter panel on. And then I'm gonna, like I said, cut that off and weld it to the frame at the top, like I did that side. Make it just be a better look. Look like someone hooked a chain in here to drag it, who knows. But I'll try to hammer that back as flat as I can get it, both sides. Alright, that's where I'm at with it. After these messages, I'll see you on the flip side. Alright, so I got about an hour out here. Kind of rinse and repeat, kind of boring. So, all locked in on the bottom here. Locked in on the bottom of the quarter panel here. Trunk drop off done. And I went ahead and welded that plate to the frame up here. But that's it for the day. Get back with you. Night night.